So it has been a while, and I do have an unboxing, but it's a fair bit of wine, but not a lot of variety. And before I did that, I wanted to address something in the kind of this video just to be a few different things to address. A friend of mine, he knows who he is, sort of asked me, looked into my eye, well, I looked into his, doesn't really matter, and he said, these tasting notes that you're doing on these wines, can you really taste that stuff? Does it really matter? And made me think, sure, it's learned to know how to taste what out of a wine, but a lot of it is subjective. Now, if I tell you that this red wine tastes like lemons, probably wrong. But there's not always a wrong answer, unless it's really blatantly obvious. If you look at the sky and it's blue and someone says it's black, it's obviously wrong. It's not really subjective in that regard. Similar to some of the flavor profiles of wine, but say, this could be dark fruited or red fruited, and you could imagine red fruit versus dark fruit. And why does it matter? Well, some of it pairs well with food, some of it just is what people prefer, and variety. So you don't eat the same fruit every day. You have some favorite fruits, some not favorite fruits, favorite vegetables, not favorite vegetables, favorite meals, not favorite meals. If I just thought every wine was wine, wouldn't it just be the same thing? To me, there's a big disparity. I've done my wine tasting for years, where I do a wine tasting dinner here, and I have numerous wines, and when you taste them side by side, people could pick out their favorites. And a lot of my friends would say, oh, I don't know, just give me some decent red, and then when they taste something, oh, I like this one over this one. And they'll gravitate towards that one. I'm not telling them to. That is what they're naturally inclined to do. So there's something to it for sure, but to each their own. And to my friend, yes, absolutely, I can taste some of those things. Ultimately, though, I just want the wine to taste good, and I want it to pair well with food, because this is something that I do enjoy and I do imbibe in. So there is my answer to that, and I will look him in his eyes next time I tell him. So just a quick unboxing, because I've got a steak that's resting and I am pretty hungry. So I am on a few different wine lists. A few from Finger Lakes. So this is Sheldrake. Got 3 wines in this allotment. This is Sheldrake's 2020 Meritage Reserve. So some blend of red grapes. I don't know the exact compositions, but it's a 2020. Great full-bodied vintage out of the Finger Lakes in 2020. Now Sheldrake's not in what they call the banana belt, but still their 2020s were really great wines. I think the banana belt, this one area of the Finger Lakes, really ripens or does really, really well with red. Sheldrake's not really near there. Regardless, still a great wine. Sheldrake's a great winery with a great library of wines. And this is where I got these next two. 2012 Riesling. And I don't care what it says on the back. It might say these things are semi-sweet or whatever. They're not. They're not. These are basically, after all this year, the sweetness goes away. What's left is a great acidity and also those developing flavors of a aged white. So those came with that. Then I got 12 from Obsidian. And the majority are going to be this. I needed a lot of, I ran out of sort of $35-ish Cabernet, which is kind of the price point to get a quality Cabernet out of California. These are from Lake County. So these are Cabs, Volcanic Estate 2021. This sort of recently changed the label, but these are in volcanic soils. I think these wines are fantastic for the money. Not easy to find, unfortunately. So there's 1, 2, 3. I'm pretty sure I bought the majority being these wines. We'll see what I run into. 4, 5, as I said, 6. I used to be able to buy these wines locally and then they disappeared. 7, and then I got on their wine list. Okay, this one's different. So there's 7, 8. I'm gonna stop there and I'll talk about the next one. So the next one is 2021. Nope, this is 2022. Suitcase Clones, another Cabernet. These are 35. This is about 55. And I know I get a slight discount being in the wine club and getting a case, but I don't. Let's just say 55. And the story with this, and I think I tasted one recently, and I love this. Wherever their vineyard is for this wine is fantastic. I think they brought some clippings over from France, Cabernet, in a suitcase, hence the suitcase clones, and they planted it, and this is what this vineyard is producing, and that wine is fantastic. At least the other vintage I had of it was fantastic. Pretty sure 2022 out of Napa is an amazing vintage. 2023 is looking to be one of the greatest ever. And I guess I had another suitcase clone. But Napa does really well year after year, minus the fire year. So this is the slope, and this is a blend. No, this is also just plain 100% cab, or this is a 2019. And again, this is probably in the 50-ish. So when I want to step up. Oh, and I bought a Petite Sirah. So might be called Petite Sirah. The grape is small but thick-skinned. It produces very dark, inky, full-bodied wines. This is a 2016, so a little bit age on it, which Petite Sirah can age a very, very long time. So those are the 12. So Petite Sirah, 2 suitcase clones, 1 slope. I didn't get their flagship, which is called something mile, half mile, since the vineyard is half mile from sea level. I have one still, so I just didn't buy one of those this time. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of their, what I'm going to call their regular standard Cabernet that they're calling Volcanic Estate. And I'll just taste it. I did decant it. I believe this wine needs a good decant and a good 2 hours on this, and this thing turns into something very different. It transforms. That is something I've tested it with wine. Absolutely, decanting can change and evolve a younger wine. An older one, you got to be careful because it's probably a little bit too delicate. That's really good. So that's really good. So I think this is better than the last vintage that I've tasted. This is excellent. 2021. Yeah, I'm glad I got 8 of these. This is awesome. This is awesome. Great wine. And all these are on their volcanic estate, and it might just sound like I'm just saying it because I know it's on volcanic soil, is that there is this minerally thing. Now, it's probably one of the most used and misunderstood terms, and I can't really explain it. Some people are like, oh, it's like licking a rock. Who's licking rocks? Nobody's licking rocks. But there is sort of a minerally taste, and I don't mean minerally like eating a chicken heart or something like that. That's more what I would call meaty. It's just got this extra element of taste to it that when you taste a $15 cab, it's not there. And that's how that's the only way you could find a distinction. Someone's like, hey, there's something else in there, and I'll say, yeah, it's got this minerally thing because of the soil it's grown, or just the quality of the winemaking, or the quality of the fruit. This is all dark fruits, good tannin, but this is silky. The tannins are not biting, which dries out your mouth. This is very easier to drink. Now, I am in the mood. I haven't had a cab in a bit, and really craving it with this New York strip. So part of it could just be that, and it's Friday. So all those things contribute to how a wine tastes for you also. I think I've said it before. If you're in the right company, you're in the right mood, you're on the right day. All those things contribute to taste. You could be in the right atmosphere, the environment. You're at a winery tasting a wine, and it's just an incredible experience. And you're with someone you care about, and you're sharing that wine. You both like it, and you're on vacation, and you're stress-free. And then you bring it home, and you're stressed out on a Tuesday, and you open it, and you're like, wow, this doesn't taste anything like I remember, because you're not in that right mindset. So that's real. That's real. That's emotion. And I've definitely been party to that in the past. 9 minutes, perfect 10-minute rest on the steak. Do plan on doing more videos eventually. For now, have a good night.